Sky Sports have announced a new pair of initiatives, and normally I don't think this would be hugely worthy of conversation, but it's led into something that I've wanted to have a conversation about for a very, very long time, because there's a pretty big issue that's affecting football, and I'm going to take a dive into it. First off, these initiatives include touchline interviews for substituted players, so you come off the pitch and then suddenly there's a journalist in your face with a camera saying, "How do you feel about that?" Imagine how you're doing when you're feeling pretty fucking annoyed already. And you can have camera operators on the pitch in celebrations to try and capture the emotions of the moment and all that kind of stuff. And there was a third little feature as well, which is access to dressing rooms on a match day. However, it's completely okay because they've assured clubs that it won't be on when there's a team talk happening. These aren't great, in my opinion, and they're sort of an overreach on the side of various broadcasters, specifically probably Sky Sports, if we're going to be honest about it, maybe TNT or BT or whatever it is at the moment. But these little overreaches, the touchline interviews, the camera operators, the access to dressing rooms, aren't the biggest issue. It's an indication of an even bigger problem in the world of football, and that is the fact that football broadcasters don't have a fundamental understanding of what is going on at the moment and what fans actually want, and are providing something completely different. And part of this bigger problem is the fact that all of the things that I've mentioned a moment ago are more and more strain on players to be always on, always switched on in this PR style mode. And there's a couple of issues with that. One of them is the personal issue, but I'll get into that in a few minutes. That's sort of like a thing that fans love to see. But you've got to consider the players in addition to that, because think through the last few years. Now, taking a quick note of this as well, it's almost 7 years without a real break for footballers. So you've had the 25-26 season, which is coming up, which is okay, fine. That was always going to be coming up. That's normal. But before that, you've had the Club World Cup and various international tournaments and breaks and all that kind of stuff. And the season before that, you've got the 24-25 season. And before that was the Euros. So that takes that summer up as well. The year before that, 22-23. And that one featured the World Cup in the middle of it, which meant that everything got shuffled around and the breaks got even shorter. And the year before that was the Nations League. Then it was the 21-22 season. Then the Euros again. Then 2021, which kicked off at a stupid time because the year before that was COVID. And this is adding up to the players always being on and always being forced to work hard and fast and always have this sort of public persona. And you've got the sort of side note in addition to that, which is affecting what the fans actually want. And if you look at various football players throughout the years, you'll look at the likes of a Ronaldinho, who people loved because you do tricks and flicks and all sorts of fun stuff. Then you'll look at Kaká, who did similar, who were flair players, who did insane stuff week to week, and are gradually being encouraged to not do that because of fatigue reasons. And you'll also look at various players off-pitch things that they would do, but that's also going to be ironed out of players by these substituted interviews because they're always going to be in that PR mode. It's not like you can come off the pitch and be annoyed anymore, which you naturally would be if you're substituted off and you're losing or something like that. You've had a bad performance, missed a penalty. First thing you can do is not be annoyed, but deal with some twat in a suit for a broadcast. It's causing a problem for the game because all the personality is being sucked out of football. It's slowly but surely being killed by the money itself. A lot of people look at football and think, wow, it's doing so well because of all the cash in it. It isn't. It's slowly but surely being sapped away because the things that fans love are being removed. And in addition to that, even the new and good players are having problems. Because looking at the match load thing again, look at Lamine Yamal, look at Pedri, Saka, Bellingham, countless players. Because there was a study done, I can't remember who by it might have been FIFA Pro or someone like that. In the 23-24 season, under 21 players, and I'm going to read this to make sure I get the numbers right, spent an average of 43.92 days out per injury, which was 187% up compared to the 2021 season. That's wild. And a lot of that will come from the stuffing of the calendar. And all of those young under 21 talents that are getting into the teams at those ages that are being forced to play twice a week for the entire year because there's not a month break anymore aren't going to get to their ceiling. We're never going to see, and this might be controversial because a lot of people might disagree with this, but we're never going to see the best versions of Lamine Yamal. We're not going to see the best version of Jude Bellingham. We're not going to see the best version of Pedri or anyone that is of that generation, because they're being overplayed, they're being injured early, and they're slowly having to look after their bodies more. And it's slowly killing off football bit by bit, and it's destroying the next generation before they even have a chance to do well. And in terms of what this all means, from a broadcast perspective, what this means is this next overreach isn't going to be the end of it. It's going to keep creeping and growing and growing and growing, and it's become more of an Americanized product, which, fine, Americans view football now, whatever. But it's affecting the game. It's becoming more about the broadcast than the football, which is a problem. Like when I'm organizing a charity match myself, which I am doing, check down below if you want a ticket or if you want to like donate or anything. One of the main things I've got to consider is, yeah, but what's the fun stuff I can do on the broadcast? Because even on a charity match scale, that's where the money is. And when I'm doing a charity thing, of course, I'm going to look at where the money is. But when it's happening with all of global football all at once, I think it's causing a fundamental problem for the game. Because these overreaches will continue, and there will keep being things added to the calendar. And it will keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing any break time that players have. And it's going to lead to more injuries, less talent, less expression, and fans caring less, because it's going to turn into more of the hold possession and pass it side to side and don't take on a man, because if he kicks you too hard, you get injured again and you miss another 8 months of your career. And that's going to spiral. And I think football is at a dangerous sort of teetering point, and we need to consider that none of this is actually what fans want. Because what fans want is high quality football. They want a decent standard of a broadcast, and that doesn't mean ask the players inane bollocks questions and get an inane bollocks answer back the moment they're substituted. It means have some passion and contribute to that and make the game more open and not necessarily force more matches at stupid times, because broadcasts have been doing this for a long time. They've been shifting games to when it doesn't suit fans, but it suits the television, which everyone except for the broadcasters is recognizing as a problem. But their bottom lines are improving, so no one's going to change it. Which is why I think we need to have, in the coming years, a proper look at what is going on with football. Because the more this broadcast overreach is coming, the more it squeezes, the more it pushes, the more it grabs and holds the game by the collar and says, you will do what I tell you to do, the more trouble the game is going to be in, and the harder it is going to be to care. I recognise I say this as a footballing YouTube channel. Caring is in my best interest as well, and like I do very much care about football, and I hope that the game does grow. But I think there's sustainable ways of doing it, and football is currently driving hard away from that sustainability, which could be a problem. I hope we see reversals on some of these things. I hope we see FIFA Pro, for example, the footballer union, sort of stepping out and saying, no, we need to actually protect players. But we'll find out how it goes. And hopefully things start to get a little bit more sane in the coming weeks and months and years, probably years, maybe decades. I don't know, but we'll find out. But that was a fairly simple, ranty video. Sorry, it came to mind, and I've been holding on to that one for a little while. If you enjoyed it, please pop a like on it. Subscribe if you are not yet. As I mentioned with that charity match earlier, for every subscriber that I've got at full time during that match, which is on the 20th of July, I will be donating an extra 1p to Prostate Cancer UK. Very important charity for me personally and for people in general. 1 in 8 men will have prostate cancer in their lives. So donate if you can, and get tickets if you want. And I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you later. Doodle.